Hello brats and welcome back to the channel. We've got another figurine upcycle for you today. Here we have Little Precious Moments clown. Isn't he cute? We're going to ruin him. Yeah, so he's from 1994 and we're going to turn him into Art the Clown from Terrifier. I'm not usually a slasher movie, flick, whatever you want to call them, girly. But I do like Art the Clown. Don't ask me why. It's just something about it. It just goes, oh, I like this. I think it's because it's quite fun and he doesn't say anything. He doesn't talk. You don't really know anything about him. He just goes about his murderous business and, you know, just cracks on with his day. Yes, so he's going to become Art the Clown. And I thought that we could turn his ball here into Art the Clown's little bin bag full of tricks. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some cold porcelain clay, which we've got here, and we're going to create the top of the bin bag and the little knot and everything. So yeah, let's crack on. Yeah, initially I wasn't for the Terrifier films at all because, like I say, I'm not really a slasher flick girly because I can turn on the news and watch people hurting each other. I don't need to pay to watch it in a film, but there's just something about that guy, isn't there? He's funny. I've got that thing where he's wearing the sunflower sunglasses. It cracks me up. But yeah, what we got? There we go. There we are. We've got some porcelain clay here, cold, air dry porcelain clay, and we're going to need, pull that back a little bit. Going to need a good old chunk of that, I think, maybe a bit more. Let's wrap this up again because we don't want it to dry out. Heaven forbid. There we go. Nice and wrapped up again. Just pop that over there. Put him on his little acrylic doodah. Yeah, so you need to give this a bit of a knead first. Condition it, but it's really light, silky. It does shrink a bit when it dries, so you always need to make things a little bit bigger. I'll just plonk that there for a second. But yeah, right, let's think about this logically. I need more than that, definitely. So we'll squeeze that off with a little top knot, roll it into a ball. Okay. And then you just need to smooth it down with your fingers. And try and, I mean, we can always go back in and sand this later on to make a really nice, smooth, seamless with the ball. I've got sanding paper, so that shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, using my fingers like this, just dragging it down, is creating a really nice sort of bin bag. Who'd have thought that today you'd sign into your YouTube account and watch some woman from the north of England make a bin bag out of porcelain clay whilst ruining, I'm sure in the eyes of some people who are, you know, care about these figurines, turning them into murderous clowns. But yeah, actually that's working quite well. So just keep smoothing it down. Just remember, we can go in with a bit of water as well and a paintbrush. Smooth it down. Smooth. We've had a bit of a rubbish month, to be absolutely honest with you. Dear little Kiska, the Howdy's den cat, passed away. It was quite unexpected. I mean, we knew she was ill, we knew she had cancer, but we weren't expecting her to go downhill as quickly as she ended up doing. So it was all a bit of a shock. And she we lost her, which is, oh no, that's gone, no. That's a terrible idea, Emma, don't do that. Yeah, so it's been a bit of a rubbish month, to be absolutely honest. And it's thrown me off schedule a little bit. I did intend to do more than just the one, or maybe two figurines this month for the shop update. But it's just, my daughter's took it particularly hard. And I needed to be there for her, which means I've not really had the time. I'm going to get a brush. And actually, what am I doing? Get the silicone dabber out. There you go. Take off the excess there. Yeah, she took it quite hard. So it was more important for me to be there for her. We've got other months to make spooky figurines. I only get to support her through the loss of her first. This is like her first major loss of a pet. I mean, we have lost pets in the past, but Kiska was her cat, if you get what I'm saying. But anyway, we're not going to dwell on this because it's depressing, isn't it? So yeah, I'm going to get some water in this because I've just looked at my little cup of water for painting paintbrushes and things, and it's disgusting. It needs cleaning. So I'm just going to go and get some clean water and I'll be back. Right, I'm back. I've got some water. And we're just gonna smooth down. Right, so I've had a good look at some pictures and I was right, it is the arm on the white side is black, the arm on the black side is white, but other than that it is split pretty much straight down the middle. He does have a little rough thing that we don't appear to have on this figurine, and I'm not gonna add any more porcelain to this guy. So it's an interpretation of Art the Clown. So we're going to start by painting his hat black and his face, because the whole head is white. Or should I wait and do that after we've done the bin bag, after the bin bag's dried out? We're going to work on the hat and the costume for the moment, and then we'll work on the face later when I've figured out how long this big hump of porcelain is going to take to dry. So I've got some, fortunately, I was working with a lot of black and white paint yesterday when I was doing some pins. So we've still got some on our little wet palette here. So I'm going to use black gesso to just give us as good a base for our satin paint as possible, because it is extremely pigmented. Okay, so the black and white's pretty much done. His face is ready to be painted. I'm just going to, because he wears fingerless gloves, so I'm just going to do the tips of the fingers with this little flesh tone I've mixed up. And then we'll have to leave him to dry for a couple of days while this porcelain clay dries out thoroughly, and then we can paint the bin bag and do the face and he'll be done. So let's just do these little fingertips. And there we go. I know they look a little bit stark at the moment, but we're probably going to be giving him some red spatter on his hands towards the end, because, you know, he's a busy boy, is our art. But yeah, that's where we're up to, and now we'll see you in a couple of days when this clay has had a really good chance to dry out properly. All right, in a bit, brats. Okay, well, I think that that's dry enough. And we'll just go over this with a nice coat of satin paint. Apologies if you can hear my fan going. It's warm today and I was not prepared for it. So I'm a very grumpy Emma today because I don't like being hot at the best of times. I especially don't like being hot when I'm not prepared to be. Have I got any of my summer stuff out yet? Most of the time you'll just find me gently simmering in a corner. As goths don't sweat, we simmer. Oh, so careful. Don't want to get any black on the face at this point. Oh, I'm so itchy. I have a very mild, this is going to sound absolutely ridiculous, but I do actually have quite a mild allergy to the sun. Doesn't matter how much sunblock I put on, if I spend the first few sort of like days of summer, any time I spend directly exposed to sunlight, I will get a red itchy rash. And it's a very mild sort of a light eruption. They call it poly something light eruption, which is, is that like my ultimate goth card? I'm so goth, I'm allergic to the sun. Right, where the mist there. It's quite hard doing black on black most of the time, but in this case it's black on matte, so that makes it a little bit easier. We're going to go in with another coat of this, just give it a few minutes to dry. Oh, no, see, that is just so tap, 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 tap. There we go. Yes, I'm going to leave that to dry properly. Okay, so that's the bin bag all nicely done, and now we're going to move on to the face. Now what I've done is I took a screenshot from earlier on of the face, and I've just drawn onto it in Procreate what I want to do. So I'll include that here. And now we're gonna put the face. So it's be really simple. Black, white, a little bit of grey. I'm currently waiting on a fan brush to arrive because I've not got one. And when that has arrived, we're going to be doing some splatter on him. But that's not here yet, so we need to focus on the face. So we need to get a really tiny brush. Really tiny, eeny weeny little brush. And we're just going to give him a little bit of eyeshadow. A little bit of depth around the eye. Okay, so he's all varnished and sealed up. We've used a matte varnish for the clothes and the hat. That was a PBO matte varnish, that was, which is an actual, like, it is a true matte of greasy fingerprints. Boop, boop, boop. A true matte varnish on it. The Mod Podge matte varnish, which is more of a satin sort of finish on the face, and then Mod Posh gloss on the bin bag, and just a little eyes there to just finish that off. So now I get to do some blood splatter, and the best way I know to do this is to use paint, water it down a little bit, and then use a fan brush and use a sort of tapping motion to create spatter. Right then, so let's have a go with this. We're going to try being the operative word, to control where it goes, but obviously that's not always possible. So I'm going to try and get some on the face, the costume, a little bit on the bin bags, just to add a pop of colour to what is a very monochrome piece. So we'll give the paint a shake. We're a bit clogged up there. No. Okay, we've got that there. And I'll get... Oops. I'll throw that brush and dip it in some water. And that just loosens it up. And I'll be able to have a little test. Oh, it's not quite. There we go. See? That sort of effect. That's what we're going for. And there we have it, Art the Clown from the Terrifier films. Have you watched them? Are you interested to see number 4? Or do you think that's one too many? Let me know down in the comments. I've really enjoyed making this one. I'd definitely like to work with more Precious Moments figurines. They make really good bases and have such cute little faces. As of recording, art is still available along with lots of other spooky treats in my folksy shop. If you'd like a closer look at this month's editions, you can check out my previous video. I'll link it below along with the link for the shop. We're on Facebook, Instagram and that TikTok as well, so do give us a follow over on them too if that's your bag. I post pretty much daily and there's behind the scenes stuff too. As always, thank you for watching. It means the world to me. If you could give this video a like, that would be amazing, and please do consider subscribing. It really helps me out. Until next time, bye brats.